Hawthorne Bank in Liberty is a proud supporter of the Liberty School District. At Hawthorne Bank, we understand the importance of a strong community and a strong school district. We also understand the importance of a strong financial future for our school district's families and for our local businesses.
I'm Melissa Hubble.
I'm Mariah Imler.
I'm Terry Hayter.
I'm Lynn McClure.
I'm Nick Richmond, and Hawthorne Bank is proud to support KLPS and the Liberty Public School District.
Hawthorne Bank, with you every step. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Okay, here we go. Okay, welcome to this week's press conference at Liberty High School Blue Jay football. We're coming off a bye week. This past week, we did have some good things happen within our program with some of our teams that finished out their season. Our freshman team played Blue Springs this past week. Our A team finished up 6-2 on the year at the win over Blue Springs. The B team ended up 5-3, had a successful year as well. And our sophomores finished up their year with a 38-35 win over Lee Summit North, which is an exciting way for them to finish up their season. So it's just a good conclusion of those two. Our focus now goes into the playoffs. We had a bye round one. Next round, or the second round this week, this coming week at William Jewell Friday night, we'll play St. Joe Central, team that we also played week one. It'll be the second year in a row that we've played that team twice and had them in the first round of the playoffs, or our first game of the playoffs. And looking forward to that game, and it's just good to have a home playoff game coming up as we get into this exciting part of our season. I'll go ahead and open it up for some questions.
With this week being a playoff week, how do you guys prepare differently than a normal week?
Really, our playoff week isn't much different than a normal week. What's been different is that we had a bye week, and it's allowed us to spread out some of our things over a 2-week time period, spend a little more time in film, not only of ourselves but of the opponent than we normally do. So it's been a good way to do that. It's also allowed us, we had a couple players that were injured coming out of the season, allowing them to get some extra time to heal up and get back so they can play this week. So we're excited about the game and the opportunity that it's given us to play this Friday. Go ahead.
How do you think having home field advantage will help you guys?
I think it's in high school, home field advantage is big for us. Being at William Jewell, we've played some of our games there this year. We've played some of our games here at Liberty High School, but we haven't lost to Jewell yet this year. We're excited to get back over there and play, and in front of our home fans. And it looks like it's gonna be a great night for football, weather-wise, for being late October. Go ahead.
With having a bye week, did you guys prepare any differently or like change up your routine kind of thing?
Well, some of the things we did with our schedule, it allowed us just to have more time with our kids and split up our time that we have for our opponents versus for us. So we really spent last week working on things that we can correct within ourselves, some of the things that we struggled with, and then spent this week more game planning toward our opponent. And this weekend, a lot of our kids had the ACT Saturday, but the rest of them came in, and we had a good film morning on Saturday morning where we usually spend a lot of our time on the night before. It allows us to really look ahead and prepare for this upcoming week. Go ahead.
What do you think some of the biggest challenges you guys are going to face on Friday?
Well, when you look at St. Joe Central, they have a 4-year starter running back in Israel Smith, and he's a player that I think we've played 6 times now in 4 years since we've had him. This will be the 6th time. Just an outstanding player. He's a very powerful runner. He had almost 200 yards against us this first year, including a couple 80 or 90-yard runs in the first time we played them. So we know the first thing looking at them challenge-wise is to stop him. They also, I've seen on film since the first time we played them, they have a very potent passing game and are throwing the ball a little bit more and very effectively. And you can just tell they've grown throughout the season. They have a first-year head coach in Phil Pitts, and he's doing an outstanding job. He's a former MU assistant that he's in his first year there. And the first game we had him was his first game with them. And his really only experience at that point was a jamboree. And you can just see as they've gone through the year, they've been in some really close games, won some games. They've won 3 in a row coming into this game. And you can tell he's just doing a great job with them. Go ahead.
What is different about St. Joe Central than what we saw in week one?
Well, and I think you look at that experience factor that they've had. They're still relying on their with Cade Musser, the receiver, and Israel Smith a lot with that. But as you look, they have become a more balanced team. I think their passing game has evolved tremendously. They're also defending the run better. And in the last couple of weeks, they've really shut down the run game. Like I said, they won 3 in a row. And during that time, they beat Liberty North, beat Raytown, and beat North Kansas City. And you can just see that they're playing better football. each and every week. So they're going to be a big challenge for us. Go ahead.
Do you guys have any major offense changes?
Well, I think as you look throughout the year, we've become more balanced offensively, and some of that's been by design that we wanted to become more balanced, more of a balance between a run and a pass team. Some of that has been what defenses have dictated, and know that we are good running the ball, and we had success running the ball. We have the leading rusher in the city, in Robert Rowley, and it has allowed us. Through what defenses are giving us and by design helping us to pass a little bit more, and we've become better in that area offensively. So hopefully it'll make us harder to defend going into the playoffs.
All right, so what do you think is your best aspect on offense?
Well, offensively, that balance is going to be key, and I think just overall execution up front will be big for us. The last 4 games have been without one of our top offensive linemen, Noah Price. We expect him to play this week. During that time, Caleb Eads, who's a junior, came in and has played extremely well. So we feel like we, have another lineman that can be in that rotation that maybe wasn't that way before. We feel like we're a little deeper on our offensive line, and that helps as well. We've also had the emergence of some of our younger kids. Nathan Gray's steadily, just throughout the year, gotten more involved in our offense. He's been a defensive player the entire time, but he's becoming a weapon there. And Jackson Lowry is a kid who got in a little bit against Lee Summit North. We're really excited about, and is a kid we expect big things in the future. That's also made us a little more dynamic offensively. Go ahead.
What do you think that your team has learned throughout the season that you're going to be taking to the playoffs?
Well, I think when you look at our team, I think they have a good understanding of who they are, and we're a tough football team. I don't feel that we're a team that's going to be able to walk on the field and just out-talent people, and I think we understand that ourselves. We have to play harder, and we have to execute better, and we've done that 6 times and lost 3. So and even in those 2 of our losses there, we're down to the last play of the game. I felt like we played really hard and did those things. So I think we understand what it takes now, what it takes for us to win. We have to play the entire game, not a half, not 3/4, and go out there and just out-tough and out-team some people, and not rely on being able to just out-talent people on Friday night.
How far do you predict your team will go in the upcoming playoffs?
When you look at how our playoffs are set up, every coach in America is going to say take it one game at a time through that, which we will. We told our guys our state championship game is this Friday night, and then when we win that game, then our next one will be the next week. But looking from an outside standpoint I think when you look at football in Kansas City is just outstanding. And so the teams that we would have to, that are within our 2 districts here in Kansas City, there's a lot of great football teams and a lot of highly ranked football teams, not just in our class, but when you look like at 4A, Kearney and Platte County are ranked 1 and 2. You look at 6A, the top schools, Blue Springs, Rockers, the Park Hill, teams that are right there, Ray Peck's having an outstanding year, Lee Summit West, a lot of great football in Kansas City. So I think that's what really makes it fun about this time of the year with Kansas City.
Do you think players want it more after losing to this team in the first round last year?
Well, yeah, I think that it leaves a taste in your mouth and, and definitely a spot in your mind that we lost to this team twice last year. And we knew that going into week 1. And we also just, from that standpoint, have a great respect for the team that they are. And, they're a team that lost quite a few people from last year, but have really bounced back. And like I said, are on a roll coming into this playoff.
After not only playing St. Joe week 1, but beating them, do you think that the team has confidence going into Friday night?
Yes, I think they have confidence. At the same time, I think they have a good respect for how good they are. That game was kind of a strange game in that we played it on Friday night and finished on Saturday. And the Friday night, we jumped up early and they came back, and the game was 28-25 at halftime. And then we came out and had a good day on Saturday and played really well defensively on Saturday, and ended up being kind of a lopsided score. But I think at the same time, our kids know, and everything our program knows what they're capable of, and how good a team they can be and how quick they can score points.
Outcome aside, for you as a coach, what are you fearful of for your team during the playoffs here?
Well, when you look at, I wouldn't say fearful, but there's always that point in your mind. You've spent, in some cases, 6 years plus years with these kids, and as it winds down, one of these games will be our final game. It's a sad time because you build relationships with those kids. You care about them a lot. They care about each other a lot. And it's just sad that it will come to an end at some point. Hopefully we keep playing all the way through to the end. But that inevitable's there in your mind. whether we finish with the state championship or whether we finish by losing to a good team here in the playoffs, that's always in the back of your mind. So I told our kids last night, enjoy every single snap and all the time, every practice together. And, and just cherish all of it, because it is a really fun time. And it's just been it's such a fun year with this great group of kids. All right, I'll close this up. Next week, hopefully we're back after a playoff win, preparing for our next round of playoffs. Thank you for coming in today. Thank you.
Hawthorne Bank in Liberty is a proud supporter of the Liberty School District. At Hawthorne Bank, we understand the importance of a strong community and a strong school district. We also understand the importance of a strong financial future for our school district's families and for our local businesses.
I'm Melissa Hubble.
I'm Mariah Imler.
I'm Terry Hayter.
I'm Lynn McClure.
I'm Nick Richmond, and Hawthorne Bank is proud to support KLPS and the Liberty Public School District.
Hawthorne Bank, with you every step. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.